I feel so vulnerable.
Why?
I don't have an infinity bow.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of things. Everyone lost. Oh, yeah, I put the switch down here.
Yeah, except for, like, the guy that doesn't play the game.
Hey,
You don't play the game in your off time
did
either.
you just break it? Oh, I thought you broke it.
No,
broke the
I'm
nose.
talking about that you don't, like, actually, like, play the game or take risks or do anything interesting.
I don't. You know, on the here. Welcome to the Netherblock, where we build a 64 by 64 by 64 block of Nether in Minecraft. And hey, that's what I do most of the time.
Yeah, he does.
Eh. I have a bunch of netherrack from last week that I didn't put down.
I found the secret block that
but
goes to
it's-
Komet's house. I can set it on fire now.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
By the way, somehow I ended up
What
with an
made you wander
Unbreaking
there?
3 power 4 bow that is not my power, like regular power bow. If somebody wants that,
Ooh,
I don't know where it came from. First come, first serve.
If I don't find a better one at John's house in the scrap.
I'm Al, by the way.
I'm Tony.
I'm Joe.
We do this intro now, guys, remember? It's only been a week since we recorded, and that's not a joke. We actually are on a normal schedule. What is going on today? I blame Komet's friend's cat for throwing everybody off.
It's Redstone. I blame Redstone. It's very captivating. It makes you think of, like, what if I did this?
Yeah, I want to make more stuff. I'm gonna
Like a
put down
cat?
this netherrack so Al can't yell at me
That's my favorite.
when Al
What's
yells.
your favorite when Komet puts down redstone?
Just lay
No,
them
Komet's-
thick redstone lines.
My what? What's your what?
I don't know, I didn't hear Tony.
I said laying them thick redstone lines.
No, my favorite is Komet's obsession with not having Al yell at her about Redstone. Or whether she's put down Nether or not.
Oh,
Like, It's an
yeah.
actual...
It is a thing.
Like, it's a thing. It's not a thing.
I'm gonna see how long I can go without
has no
putting
power
any
over
down, and then see if he notices.
I
kind
won't,
of agree with
is
Joe.
the
I
thing.
don't
You
think
know
this
why?
is like
'Cause I
a
don't
thing.
care.
I think of all the things that are a thing for Al, that is one of the few things that aren't a thing.
Thing, thingy, thing, thingy. Thing, through.
I only brought it up because I wanted people to know that I'm awesome. I actually like
You
don't care
often
about
give
other
Komet
people.
grief for not putting down Nether. Or, yes, you promote how much Nether you have put down. That is the thing. Maybe that's what it is.
Real thing.
But
Real
it gets
life.
inside Komet's head. She doesn't like that you're able to taunt her with that.
Now I don't care.
The ghost man.
Watch. I'm gonna throw all of this nether off of my house. Ready? This is what you get, Al. This is for
I'm not
you.
watching the video.
I mean,
This is
I'm
what
just
you
gonna.
get.
What you made me do!
Look.
I
No,
learned it
I'm
from
not.
you.
I'm in the Nether mining netherrack,
Oh shit.
killing the ghasts and making it safe for those who would enjoy to
Well,
mine
now I
netherrack.
fell, and I'm gonna end up eating all of the nether that I just threw up. Okay.
Well done!
Did they make those lava blocks a lot more damaging? Because, like, being in the Nexus right now is kind of intense.
Oh, hello.
Also, where are these, like, said blocks? I'll take those blocks.
She's vomiting them onto me.
Oh.
What did you have to say about, let me Google that for you, Al.
You had something. Why are you pitching this to me?
I
Like,
thought when that came up that you said I have something too about that.
no. I just you mentioned that you had something to talk about, and I was like, oh, I want to. There's like a little anecdote that I have as well. Wasn't
okay.
Google?
Not Google.
Sometimes
let
I
me
come
Google
into
that
these
for
and I'm
you.
like, I'm gonna have had something funny happen to me. I want to remember to talk about it.
Yes, but you never do.
Well, not now
That's the
because
joke. You wrote it down this time.
I did. I wrote it down.
Oh, that's what it is. Interesting. I would never have thought of that.
What, writing it down?
No, the piston blueprint. Let me Google that for you. Now has other search engines on it.
Let me
Oh,
Bing
yes.
that for you.
You can make it go to Bing and like search for things
I think
for
Bing's
people.
like paid them off.
I don't know. There's Ask. There's Go Duck Go.
It's like, I know
Damn
that Mozilla had to get paid off by Yahoo because, like, okay, this is just a bad spot. Why are you guys murdering me? Why are you
Okay.
here? I was using a stone sword, and I got pinned
Where?
just right outside. I could use some help murdering those two zombies.
Nope.
Are you in a
happens if we
fight
do
with
this
the
again?
zombie pigman?
No.
Oh wait. No.
Ooh,
Who was
I
slain by a
like
zombie
it.
pigman?
No.
Okay.
No.
That might be too fast.
Was
No.
that your thing, Joe? That they just have different search engines now?
No, what if you
That's part
connected
of
it to this one, Joe?
I thought there was gonna be
Connect
like
it to
an
this
arc or something to that story. It was just like they've got different sites now.
I had some run-ins with the internet today with friends, and one of my friends sent me a thing saying, "Let me Google that for you." because I figured out that oh Christ, really, Al? Can we tell a long-winded story with no point?
I love
You
that.
have the Nether block.
That's his life.
That's what I'm all about.
Okay, so someone
We're
had
off
a
today. Do we need
doctor's
to start
appointment
over again?
Someone had a doctor's. One of my friends had a doctor's appointment today, and it turned out that they went to the doctor and they just weren't open, which was weird.
What?
And then someone made the joke of putting the Seinfeld in where he's talking to the rental car people about how they don't actually know how to hold a reservation. Which I don't know if anyone here actually is aware of.
I don't
It's an
remember
old
that
Seinfeld
one.
bit from early on in the show. And then someone said, God, how old was he in that? And I looked up the episode year, and I was like, I wonder if I could just Google that as a question. So I Googled, how old was Jerry Seinfeld in
shit.
1991? And it actually showed up, and I was astounded. I was like, wow, Google can, like, sort of do that.
No,
It couldn't
no,
do
no,
how
no,
old
no.
was Jerry Seinfeld in that specific episode,
No.
unfortunately.
No.
Yes.
Can't.
Yes.
Get off fire! No!
I think you need a repeater here, Matt, because
Yes!
it's not long enough.
I lived!
Why isn't it pulsating?
Oh, we need the other one. This one. What is that? This one. This one. This
But
one.
the real question is, did Bing tell you how old Seinfeld was at the time?
That I don't know. I did not use Bing. I used Google. No, I used Google. You can try it right now.
We need
What's the name of the episode?
compare.
It was 1991. They could not figure out, like, if I just gave it the episode name, it was not able to be like...
Well, I'm asking because I wonder if Google Assistant could do it. We need the episode title.
I forget. Do the contest. I know that's an actual episode.
How old was Jerry Seinfeld during the episode The Contest?
Oh, you added more context than I did.
Here are the top search results.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
No. Oh, there's so much crap here.
Just gonna shower Al in meat whenever I get in the Nether.
So
Meat
I
shower.
encountered something absolutely delightful yesterday. And
Shoot.
I was looking around for something to watch on TV last night. Me and my wife were just kind of having a night in. We figured we'd, watch a movie or whatever. And
Al, when was the last time you had a night out? Like, I feel like you only have nights
I
in.
drove to San Antonio to hang out with you guys.
He's not allowed to drive to any more conventions, guys. Either.
I got a
Yep.
$300 speeding ticket for going
This is
80 and a 70.
$300? Holy crap.
$300.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Usually that first speeding ticket in Colorado is like 75.
I don't
How
know what
fast
to tell you,
were
Tony.
you going?
That
80
sucks.
and a 70?
That's barely breaking the law.
Yeah.
I feel the same way, but you're getting in the way of my story. So I look for a movie to watch, and I have Sling, which lets you watch sort of live TV stuff. But
Blade.
it also
That wasn't funny. Don't laugh at that.
yeah, I wasn't going to.
Oh my god.
It has
Yes.
like streaming stuff as well. Like you can just sort of select pre-recorded streaming stuff that different channels have decided that you can watch. And on the Sci-Fi Channel, which is where I usually end up going on Sling, they had the movie Friday the 13th, the 2009 edition. So I watched Friday the 13th, and it starts out with like the characters walking through the woods. They actually have like an early team that gets killed off before the main characters do, sort of setting up like the premise of how Jason works and stuff. And they're walking through the woods, and one of the characters say, "I call bull stuff on that." And I was like, maybe like everybody sort of makes fun of it. So I thought maybe this is just like that character that he doesn't swear, sort of like Captain America or whatever.
Or you.
And then, as I kept watching, I realized that no, this is the TV edit of the R-rated movie Friday the 13th, in which every single swear is changed to a Napoleon Dynamite-esque, like, frig or darn. And all of the kills are basically cut completely
Yeah, well, I was gonna say,
out of
what
the
is
movie.
the violence?
And the nudity is also completely missing.
What did the kills get turned into? He hands them like a.
They
cup of
like
pudding?
you see him like raise up the blade, and then sometimes you see them dying, and that's basically it. You're basically like it's basically a movie where people don't swear and nothing happens. And it's weirdly wholesome, right? Like, because if you're making a PG-13 movie, like, people can get angry at each other in ways that don't require the swears. And you know ahead of time that it's gonna not have that, so you can sort of give it that extra impact. But if your movie's built around, like, that as a component of the movie, when you just swap in the sort of bywords for all those things, it just, like, it becomes completely and utterly toothless. And I've never had a...
So 10 of 10?
It was delightful.
Recommend.
I don't know if watching the actual movie was as fun as watching the TV edit.
Well, it's not exactly a well-loved reboot either, so that might have made it more tolerable.
Where's the closest sand?
That's a hard question.
Like,
There's a
guy,
desert
like,
out there somewhere.
I've sent you to it.
His buddy who's
have
like
sent me to
hanging
it.
from the ceiling and just completely unironically says, "Oh, fudge."
Was it dubbed, or did they have double takes where they had the actors do...
I think so it seemed like it was the actors, but it was definitely dubbed over. It's weird because, like,
Did their mouth...
it matched up pretty well, yeah.
Oh,
Because they'll sometimes have 2 takes for movies that they know are going to be released on...
Where's the
That might have been the
Joe?
case, actually. I don't know. They definitely had one kill where, like, there was a person hiding under the dock. Jason was on top of the dock. And then I don't know what happened to her because it just went to the next scene. Like, they played, like, a music sting like he was gonna kill her or whatever, and then just, like, noped out. So that was fun. I very much want to find more of these, like, TV edits of sort of hardcore movies now and see like what they do to get around them, because that was I got quite the chuckle out of that.
Quite. You said that funny.
Yes.
Where's your path to the place, Joe?
It's to the Netherblock.
is it sunny out, Al?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, I don't know, so I'm yes, Tony, it is.
Somebody just
Oh,
got
I made a
here
mess.
and it's really loud.
Where are you?
Me? I went towards the nether block. I thought it was on this
Netherblock?
side. Is it on the
Dirt block.
dirt block side?
It's on the dirt block side.
So I had a problem loading a vehicle earlier this week because it was just super, super windy. I think I told you guys about this already.
It's been terrible here.
Like,
Also, like,
is
freezing, right? I mean, literally.
for Joe, it is. It's nice here
I meant to
today.
ask you guys what it's like in Colorado.
It's like
It's nice.
30s to 40s.
Today it's really nice. It's
Yeah,
beautiful
today I walked outside and it actually felt
How do I-
hot. I was like, this is amazing.
It hurt. Like,
But like, I was loading up a thing of paneling because I was putting up this brick wall stuff in my
I'm
in my house.
apologizing. There's a lot of noise upstairs. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to cut me out right here.
We can
Yeah, we
definitely
can definitely hear it. We can hear, like, it sounds like somebody's rolling 5-gallon buckets around.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
it very much sounds like plastic 5-gallon buckets. You can even hear the little clang of the handle.
Yeah,
that's
like that. It's,
weird.
I'm sorry.
That's bizarre.
And
why
I
are you
did.
rolling 5-gallon buckets around?
I'm totally doing it. I'm multitasking so well.
I didn't know
That's
you.
why are you rolling buckets
Ooh.
around?
I didn't
Can
know
I
you were
take the
such a
sand?
Foley artist.
Because it's
mean,
fun. It's
You
fun
need more
to do.
sand than this, right?
No, I just need to make some glass. Isn't it sand?
It is, but
Okay.
there's not much here.
Is it
Anyway.
breakable?
Yes, if this suits your purposes, that's fine.
I was loading up my truck with these panels, and like a 40-mile-an-hour wind gust came out while I was at an intersection, and it just.
That's
I
the
heard.
worst thing to load up in the wind.
Yeah, like it
Yeah.
felt like I was
Sounded
loading
like
a sail.
parasail.
Yeah, like whenever I was putting it in the car, I was by myself, and I was just loading these panels, and every time it got a little questionable. I was like, I've got a really good strap-down system. We'll make this work. And then whenever I get like everything strapped down, I get to the stoplight, and all of a sudden I just hear like the whooshing noise, and then ping, 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 because it was like literally like 12 different anchors. It's a net style system that goes over the top, and I just feel like my truck get lighter, and it just wafted out, landed in the middle of the
terrifying.
intersection. And I got so lucky because this was the longest light ever, or I was just jacked up on adrenaline because I didn't want to have that. He would get hurt. I just like popped out of the truck, threw this thing back, and drove into a Taco Bell and like double stopped it. I was like, what if that would have happened on I-25 going like 75 miles an hour? I might have murdered somebody.
Yeah, that would have been scary.
That happened to didn't
How do I get back?
friend of a friend was getting a mattress home. I forget why.
There's
Because
always
he wanted to
mattresses
sleep
the
on a
freeway.
mattress? I mean, that
No,
doesn't
it was
seem like
for-
the...
It was a cheap mattress, and they hadn't really intended to. They got like a call. I think it was for like a party someone was throwing. and they wanted to line the walls with mattresses. So they're like, everyone bring a mattress over. It'll be awesome, or something like that. Anyway, they didn't have any of the things needed or the right car.
I feel like we're skipping over a great story there.
Where?
The mattress
With all the
party. Come on over to my house.
know.
We're gonna nail some mattresses to
It
the
was
walls.
in college, so
Yeah.
I don't know. They were doing like tide slides or something, some stupid thing.
I can't tell if it's like a slide where you're like getting a twin bed and going down the stairs, or if this is like preparations for an orgy. Like,
It was not preparations for an orgy.
I'm only gonna think of it as an orgy. So
Yeah.
All right, someone was planning an orgy, and a lot of people got calls to bring mattresses. The point being, they didn't have the right gear at all or truck, and they got the right idea of like, how heavy is a mattress? You can just drive along, and I, the passenger, will hold it with my hand.
Arm out the window.
Yeah.
Don't
Obviously
ever
they
do
lose
this,
it.
guys.
No, goes flying off on the highway, or a decent side. It was not like a major interstate, obviously, but on a busy road. So anyway, they're...
I'm just gonna say this
Like,
happened
oh
on
my
like
God,
the
so
George
embarrassed.
Washington Bridge or something like that, just to add more
This was
flavor.
in South Carolina? At any rate, so someone was really late for the orgy later on. And they're like, where? Again, might as well just lean into that.
I was gonna
Come
let
to
you.
it.
You didn't have to comment on your own joke, Joe.
Yeah, it made it funnier.
Okay.
Well, I also need to stress again, this wasn't an orgy, but I'm going to call it that because Kavit said I should do that.
Yep.
Anyway, they asked the person, they're like, oh, it's the craziest freaking thing. In the middle of I-whatever, there was this truck on fire with a mattress stuck underneath it.
Oh no!
How could that possibly have happened? Gee.
Oh man. Okay.
Poor truck.
I need help.
That
How
reminds
do you
me of
make
that
glass?
movie we were watching in San Antonio, the Hot Tub Time Machine,
Oh yeah.
with the what was it, the squirrel?
The orgy? All of the orgies?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
like I was getting mad. I was getting triggered because the squirrel like ruined a Broncos game in the
Oh,
past.
that's right, the drive. But
Right.
the drive doesn't happen in the movie, is that it?
Yeah, like he tried to bet, and because he pissed off a squirrel at the beginning of coming in, he changed he caused a butterfly effect that changed the Broncos
drive.
winning that game. Yeah,
That's pretty funny. That's a really pretty good movie.
it was way
I
better
love
than I
that
thought it
movie.
was gonna be. Like I don't like dumb comedies, and most comedies are
That was
really dumb.
hilarious.
That one was just good.
I didn't see the whole thing, but from what I did see, it was like this is relatively like character based as far as like
Yep,
what
also
about
that.
your sort of you've lost the future or the past wasn't just like a time machine to the past. It was about sort of how they saw the past and like their regrets and things.
And even the obvious stuff, like the one-armed guy, turned out not to. They actually played that well. There's a one-armed guy in the movie in the future, and in the past, don't remember how he lost his arm, but in the past, like, the first thing you see him doing is, not juggling chainsaws, but chainsaw and
carving.
ice sculpture.
Yeah.
He does
and he
he
just,
does
like,
kind of do
trips.
chainsaw juggling as he's doing
Yeah,
it.
he's sort of being a bit of a showboat, and obviously the easy comedy would have been like, oh, it's funny because this is when he loses his arm, and he slips and falls, the chainsaw goes up in the air, and lands, and he screams, but then it pans out, and he's actually screaming because, like, it missed him. He's like,
Yeah, it was part of the
and then
act.
they keep doing things like that, where
Yeah.
you think, oh, this is where he loses his arm. It's really clever.
It's
Did
really
we actually
funny.
ever get to the point where he lost the arm? I don't think any of
Yes.
us know how that
I
It's,
don't
happened.
at
remember
the,
what it
it's
was.
at the very, very end. It's like at the
Yes.
very end.
It's probably something
Mind
sad
Nether.
like bone cancer.
I think it's pivotal to their actual story, I think. To the point where he might have two arms in the future again?
I don't want to ruin it for people who haven't seen the whole thing.
I literally saw it once like 6 years ago, so I'm honestly speculating.
I like Joe's version of this story. Let's stick with that.
Yes.
I was trying to think of what other
Hypothetically, he had
parties you could
two arms
have
in the
with like
future, guys.
with mattresses. It's like you could have like a really weird like
Sleepover.
theme party where it's not even like a sleepover, like an asylum theme party where everybody's like in straitjackets and stuff. Just pad the walls.
Oh,
I think it was. Yeah, I forget. Go on.
Talking of movies and remembering things, so I did see this Friday the 13th movie, and one thing that like actually struck me about it as a Friday the 13th movie was that I was really annoyed that Jason used a bow and arrow. It just does anybody else really feel like Jason shouldn't allowed to have ranged weapons?
I mean, he
I
throws
mean,
his
that is a
hatchet
bit
sometimes, doesn't
weird.
he?
He
Like-
throws a machete quite a bit.
But the thing
And he
about
has
that
a
is like you
spear.
lose the primary weepon when you do that, so you like it's kind of a risk
Yeah, that's
reward
less.
thing.
Throwing I'm okay
Fair
with,
enough.
but like he can't just be like on a hill 3 miles away with the sniper rifle.
That's fair enough, yes. That's. Oh, God, help. No.
And that was
like,
the
that's
day
a
that we
different
found out that
kind of
Jason was
scary.
actually Chris Kyle.
What?
Yes, I agree with you. Yes.
Okay.
When you phrase it like that, it would lose a lot if Jason just had like a gun. It was just like your day.
So
That was like
he's
the beginning of that Batman Beyond show. Like, Batman was all old and decrepit, and he had to, like, actually use a gun to stop somebody, and that's when he decided he was
That's when
too
he
old and
quit.
had to retire.
Jason, the old
Yeah.
years. Christopher Nolan makes the Jason movie.
He's just done. He's like, I don't even, whatever, stupid kids.
So they
Get off
removed
my lawn.
Batfleck, didn't they? Like, Ben Affleck is no longer Batman in the DCU.
He
Yeah. I
really
guess so.
hasn't been Batman for a while. Like, he's just sort of been...
That's definitely arguable.
No, I mean, like, ever since Justice League came out, he's probably been done. They've sort of, like, not been saying it for the sake of publicity.
So what are they gonna do those? Are those movies making their...
The
No.
new
Back.
one
I'm
did.
pretty
don't
sure
think so.
Aquaman
It's
made a
killing it.
lot of money.
Well, actually, Aquaman I wanted to discuss separately, because have you heard the thing that Aquaman was, not secretly, but kind of secretly designed for Chinese audiences?
Yeah.
Oh,
There's a lot
yeah.
of
I
references
mean, there's,
and,
like, that's every movie these
into-
days, right?
Yeah,
But
that's
this is like-
that's how the Transformers franchise survives. Like, it's specifically
so.
designed for international audiences, not for American audiences. We're too smart for that shit.
This had a lot of like specific in jokes with like Chinese pop culture and stuff, and I found that really interesting. I had not heard about a movie doing that before, but it's gonna be interesting when we're not what blockbusters are catering to.
It's weird because they still make them here
Who did that?
Yep.
Who did that?
for the moment.
But
I'm in the Nether, it wasn't me.
I am also in the Nether, mining netherrack
yes,
for
I'm
the
doing that
Nether
as well.
block. It's a 64 by 64 by 64 block of Nether that we build
Nether
here
block.
on the Human Echoes channel.
Somebody.
What? Yes, they're made in America. Yeah. Like India doesn't like try and go for they just go for Indian people.
So-
I guess some American movies still just go for American audiences, but
Do movies
have you-
count
I-
for
I don't
American
know
exports?
not on a lot of the charts, Tony.
Like, I was wondering about that the other day. It's like, that should totally count as exports. Like, if it's
People
an
discuss
American
trade
movie,
wars or like
Yeah.
trade imbalances. It's like movies don't count. In those
Also, they don't like
statistics you're reading.
in the grand scheme
God,
of like
no.
the all of commerce. They don't make that much money.
Yeah, but like, you're still
guess not.
talking about a few $billion here and there. It should make it on the list.
I mean, studios that are successful and do multiple blockbusters a year, that adds some, doesn't it?
You might
Yeah, like-
make like so a
Plus toys, plus
a
franchise rights,
super
plus blah, blah, blah,
successful
blah.
movie might gross $1 billion, but you're
Right.
gonna have to invest like at least 500 million in that, and you know, making a $500 million profit is like it's good, but it's not like Apple good.
Yeah, but if you're talking about Infinity War, shouldn't that at least register on the charts? Like, you made
entire
if you made
MCU?
500 if you make $500 million in China and India, like, that should count like as U.S. commerce.
Also, don't
Like, that
know
is-
like
those-
how the accounting works. Like if they bring that home.
Yeah, they
Is
might
the-
keep it in like international studios or something like that, so they
Yeah,
don't have to
oh, there
pay
it
like,
is.
taxes and so on.
The methodology of the studies who say here's what the trade looks like, imbalances look like, they're almost always off, like wildly so, and don't include some things, and it's just like, but this isn't. You're just doing this for a headline, obviously.
Oh, bitch.
There was a great. What happened to you, Manic? By the way,
Conspiracy
Down
channels.
from somewhere.
Somebody
Thanks.
or the game. I'm saying somebody. Somebody sabotaged me. They broke my vines from my treehouse, so when I was going down, I fell.
huh?
Definitely
I
was not me.
don't-
I was in the underworld.
There are some rock making things going crazy up there. Maybe that did it. I don't know.
Just like tripped
No,
a vine.
it's by the walkway to the
Oh, I got you. I know where
You
actually,
gotta
I know
tell
exactly
me
where
those
you're
things
going
are
down.
structural, okay? There needs to be a sign.
Al was the one who broke it.
You've been doing. Yeah, I knew it. I should have.
I did that like an hour ago
Why did you break them?
because they were there.
So you know what? I've noticed that this has actually been happening like a lot.
Pulling
like
up
a
weeds.
lot.
I didn't realize that you use those like all
Yeah,
the
they're
time.
ladders and stuff.
But you don't
You
don't
gotta
take them
build a
from
thing.
anywhere other than there.
Where? Yes, I do. When they're falling down the archway, I hit them from there all the time. Like anytime
Yeah,
they're
that's-
like in
that's
my
not the
way,
one that-
I'm chopping vines.
and this
Not
time
an
it caused
accurate.
murder.
Like I'm just
But that's
targeting
not.
you.
I don't get how that's in your way. The one that's broken.
It's not in my way. It's just annoying.
Annoying enough to kill me.
You know, I could let the grass in my yard grow long, but you know, it looks ugly, so I cut it.
I think It always bothers me because long grass always looks better, but like
Fucking fuck
nobody
me.
else will do it on their street, so everybody has to cut their lawns.
Yeah, I'm
How
in
long?
the like.
Like
I can't.
Like I want like waving fields of wheat for people's front yards.
No, I
Waving
don't want
Tony
fields
wants
of
to-
wheat.
Make up camp on the fields of Elysium.
Yes, I want it to be like Gladiator whenever I walk
Russell
outside. and I
Crowe
can just
running
like
his hand over the
walking
way.
to your
yeah, just put my hand out there and just like touch it and be reminded of my family and my homeland.
What a weird Oscar win. Do you know
Gladiator
how-
was absolutely incredible. Like I love
was-
that movie.
It was an action movie. Like I could see it getting nominated because of it, but it was also like Best Picture.
Yeah, and
Incredible.
it deserved it. It was so good.
What movie?
Gladiator.
Russell Crowe.
The Oscars are always weird.
Yeah, but this was eons ago. I didn't think they were as weird, but I guess they were.
I think some of it was
Dances
also
with
like
Wolves
Russell
over
Crowe,
Goodfellas was
or not Russell Crowe.
Jude Law.
No,
What?
the director. I'm trying to remember his name.
Ridley
Scott.
Ridley
like,
Scott.
It might have been a makeup Oscar for some of his earlier stuff too, like what they
That's
did. with
fair. You know what? I
Departed.
never actually thought of that.
Like, because it was a very good movie. It just like it is surprising when an action movie wins that. But Lord of the Rings won it.
That would
Yeah,
be, you
that's
know
true.
what? They should do, like, instead of doing the Oscars the year of, they should wait 10 years.
That'd be
Whoa.
freaking hilarious.
That
You
scared
had,
me.
like,
Fell in a hole.
the previous decade's award. Like, okay, what actually was good? Now that we've had really time to think about it, and it wasn't like
It's
some
just a
indie movie
trade
that came
show.
out
Like,
last
it's not-
month.
Ow! God, stupid. All it is like the year-end trade show that every other industry has, but they just happen to be the movies, so people care about them. No. Okay. More.
What movies came out 10
That was
years
a roller
ago?
coaster.
So we're here in 2019, so 2009.
You'd have to pull that
Friday the
list
13th
up.
on there.
Yes, but
All
only
right,
that cut.
It wins because no one can think of a.
Can't think of any
Also, I
other
want to see
movies.
what went up against Gladiator. What? Oh, that's not the right year. I was like
can't find
Infinity War.
I'm gonna
Oh,
look it up.
Avatar. Never mind. Done. Inglorious Bastards up in the
2009
air.
movies.
The original Star
Inglourious
Trek.
Bastards
The
can win
Blind
something.
Side. The Blind Side was 2009.
Yeah, it
Yep.
seems earlier than that to me.
Seems later than that to me. The Blind Side came out the same year as the
Inglourious
Hangover.
Bastards I would give it to if we were doing like the 10 years later
What the
Oscars.
hell? Really?
Over Avatar?
I told you, Sandra Bullock is fucking old, man.
This is blowing my. No, that the Blind Side
Stop.
came out the same year as the Hangover.
I would put Coraline
can't
on the list at
Parse
least.
that.
Yeah, Coraline,
I can't
for,
parse
especially
that.
for like.
That's no way.
Tony,
do
how
they
about the
consider
road?
Leica
I haven't
stuff
seen that
animated?
one.
I'll answer that in a second. Do they consider Leica stuff like Coraline animated?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
So Coraline would definitely be in that category. That was a great movie.
Watchmen
the
was
road
pretty good.
The Road almost felt Oscar baity the way they did it, but it was so well made. It's one of the better film adaptations I've ever seen, or book adaptations. So I would put it on the list. It was also brutal, and Viggo Mortensen's one of my favorite actors, so automatically he gets more credit anyway. I'd put it
Who
on the
knows
list.
what won that year?
Then it was Avatar.
Yeah,
No, it was not.
Blindside.
In 2009?
probably.
Yeah, Avatar did not win an Oscar
Yes,
for any of the major things.
It
She
did.
won
No.
Best Supporting Actress, didn't she? Sandra Bullock.
Are you wait?
Blind Side, yes.
The Blindside
Are
won
you
the final
sure
movie.
Avatar didn't win an Oscar?
I'm fairly certain.
I thought
for-
Avatar won like 8 Oscars.
Yeah, I thought it won
for
a shit ton.
effects, but not for picture. No, unless I've got the wrong year because it's like in the spring and I have to put 08 or something. That doesn't make any sense, even what I just said. No, but no! Stop it, people! Avatar did not win an Oscar. No, that's just a.
I don't believe that.
I'm pretty sure you're
Did
wrong.
Avatar win an
It went
Oscar?
No Country for Old Men, Benjamin Button,
Avatar
and then
won the Academy Award for Best Cinematography for Mauro Fiori in 2010. Won the Academy Award for Best Visual Effects in 2010. Won the
Yeah.
Academy Award for Best Production Design in 2010. And received other awards or nominations.
Such as Best Picture, Best Director, Best
then The
Original
Hurt
Music
Locker.
Score, Best Sound Mixing.
No! Everyone knew that was sort of like. Ugh.
What?
That it was sort of. Ugh.
I thought it was
Avatar?
fun.
Yeah.
It was
Like,
fun.
Avatar, people like changed their like world views on life because
Yeah,
of
like
Avatar.
there was an
Like-
entire disease that came out of that where people were
Yeah.
depressed because they like the Na'vi weren't real.
What the hell are you people talking
I'm
about?
serious. Like people
I
left
think
that
Joe's
and they were
showing
messed
his
up.
old.
Okay, but just because people are idiots doesn't mean a movie's good.
It was okay.
It was okay.
It was fun.
I walked out. No, actually, it pissed me off.
was
It was way
pretty.
too like heavy-handed, and I didn't even.
Oh,
like
you
the
don't
action
like
in the
whenever
3D.
anybody like is like, we like the environment. You're like, go yourself.
That's not exactly true, but it was. No, the bad guys were just too, like, they might as well have been
Anybody
had, like,
who ever
slightly-
digs anything out of the dirt is bad, I think is what Joe probably objected to.
Probably.
Well, no, the bad guys being like,
Or
let's
are they
only dig
loggers?
out of the dirt and murder everyone and not have any. There was no nuance.
It was also
could've had,
just
like-
like a ripoff of like Fern Gully and Dances with
Also
Wolves.
that.
So
And I just didn't love it. Like, I didn't walk out of it, like, I can't remember any action scenes from it.
what was the last movie you actually like genuinely loved though?
I want to contrast Joe's opinion with Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times, who said, watching Avatar, I felt sort of the same as when I felt watching Star Wars in 1977.
So you didn't like Star Wars?
No, he said it
And
was
I've been
extraordinary.
vindicated in this, insofar as Avatar, I know they're making sequels to everyone, but just, it's...
Sort of.
The only reason people talk about it is because no one talks about it. Like, I never see, like, Avatar memes, I never hear Avatar quotes.
Well, this was 10 years ago.
So Star Wars was... I don't even want to do the math right now, years ago.
Were you alive when Star
1977?
Wars hit theaters?
When it was hitting...
77?
Depending on which release.
So 77, that's 42 years ago now?
Ah, so you were not alive yet.
Like, use the Force, Luke, is quoted a fair amount. I'm now an Avatar, guys, is not...
There's some things from Avatar that
yes,
still
that famous
like
quote
pop
from the
up.
movie Avatar.
Name a famous quote from Avatar.
I've seen memes from it. Usually they're making fun of Avatar, but still.
Well, that's...
I'm actually not. So on some of this, I'm on Joe's side. I actually thought it won Best Picture. I was wrong.
That's
did
bizarre to
too.
me.
Yeah,
It's like
I
that
thought it did
Shazam
too.
movie with Shaquille
I didn't think
O'Neal.
it should have won Best Picture.
Speaking of
I know.
Shazam, I kind of want to see that movie.
I'm just saying, like,
Like the
But
new
it
it was
one.
didn't- anything
definitely
major.
nominated. Cinematography's pretty big.
Have
It
you?
didn't win
Yeah, but not the
directing,
big
so you're saying it
four,
didn't
the
win.
big five.
It was
Uh,
nominated for Best Picture at least.
That maybe.
And nominated for Best Directing as well. It got nominated for a bunch and won several.
Then again, James Cameron could probably like direct anything and probably get an Oscar nomination at this point.
You guys should watch Future Man, because it's funny. They have a really good James Cameron bit.
What is Future Man? Can you
It's,
pitch it to us
it's a-
beyond the really good James Cameron bit?
Yes, he did get
Yeah.
nominated for Best Picture.
The James
So,
Pancake Man bit.
there's a game that nobody's ever beaten. Like, it's just one of those things.
Oh, so we're talking about
and-
Ready Player One.
No, I mean, maybe.
What kind of a rig
Maybe.
does he have?
No,
Yeah.
so it's just like it's like a
It's a hell of a
joystick. Anyways, so this kid beats this game, and it turns out that the game was sent from the future to try to change the next savior that will save the world.
Also, it's like Star.
The Last
Games?
Starfighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, they take like references to from a bunch of stuff.
And War Games.
Star Games?
Yes.
Oh, were you thinking War Games, Al?
No, I knew there was Star in there somewhere.
No, but anyways, so they these two people come from the future, and they like think since he beat the game that he's like this master warrior, like all this stuff, and
Because
he's
people
just,
are
like,
dumb in the
this-
future, or
I mean,
That's the plot of the movie.
Yeah, pretty
it's a mix
much.
between Idiocracy and a lot of other things.
Is it a comedy? Like, I hear
It's
Future Man
funny.
and I think of Hacker Man.
It's really funny. It's really really funny.
Oh, Hacker Man, I miss Kung
Anyways,
Fury.
in one of the futures, so they have to go into the past to like try to save the future. But in one of the futures, James Cameron like is the father of science and all technology, and like he's like this person who found a renewable resource that will save the earth, and
Was it called
he-
Unobtainium? I think that was the only thing that legit pissed me off about Avatar was how bad that name was.
That was the only thing that didn't, because I felt like that was just an in-joke. Like, it wasn't actually called that, but like the text called it that for, like, I could see tech people do stupid things like that. They make bad jokes.
also there's a lot of
Literally-
dumb element names. I don't know people who like make fun of bad element names in movies. Like
Yes, there are. There's
haven't
Superman.
like read about like Einsteinium or I think there's
There's
some that are
Kryptonium.
yeah.
There's actually kryptonite, rather.
Oh,
you can make.
Krypton is a noble gas, so I think it's just always just Krypton. I don't even know if it bonds with
I
anything
think there's
else.
a second one. There's Superman and Neum, I think, maybe. I'm gonna look this up now also.
There's no
Yeah, just look up-
adamantium, but there might as well be.
It's called Vibranium, thank you. And there are
Yeah,
no mutants.
you gotta bleep that out, otherwise we're gonna owe Fox a lot of money.
So in the MCU, on the origin of the species, does he not say the word mutation? Is he just like the turtles of Galapagos Islands have diverged because of What?
Actually,
Experiments?
does Darwin talk about mutations? I don't think he
so.
has a mechanism
No?
in the origin of species. I think he's just like, there's differences.
He's just talking about.
and you know, the
I have so
fittest
much to
ones
look up right
survive.
Yeah,
Because
I
I mean,
mean, through a means of.
he had no way of knowing about genetics. He's just like, we know that things are different for some reason sometimes, and you know.
He talks about natural selection.
Yeah, it's like I don't know if he's ever said mutation. That's an interesting
Yeah.
question, especially in like Origin of Species. Like towards the end of his life, did they know more about mutations?
They
and so
didn't.
on?
There was no way they could have known about genetics at the time. I mean, like, as
Well,
far as
I do
genes, like literally, like what caused genetics. Like they knew, I think, that like people with brown hair were more likely to have kids with brown hair. They got that, but they didn't know.
Comedy gold, guys.
Anything
Couldn't roll
why.
with my joke. You have to get all semantic with it.
What was the joke?
Never mind.
Somebody's
Comedy
gold.
I just want to know what the joke was.
Well, whenever mutations came up, the big book about that. Watson and Crick. I don't give a flying. Do you think that? Never mind. Stupid now because it's stupid. Everyone ruined it.
No, it was
also-
I get what you're
quit.
saying now. You were saying that it was like, oh, could they actually say mutation if they were talking about actual genetic mutations
in the
instead of
MCU,
mutants? Yes.
what explains genetic variants?
Also, at a certain point, like before
Vibraniums.
genetics came along, like mutation would just be a change, right? Like it's just from the word mutability, right?
What language?
I don't know what language. I'm saying, but things are mutable. Like we don't use that exclusively
Yeah,
to
you can
refer to
silence them with your
genetics.
remote.
Huh?
I get it.
So
What?
mutation was probably a word that just sort of meant change before, and then like genetics sort of used it, and it got locked to that.
Well, that word can't exist in the MCU.
Okay.
So what do they do to their remotes when they want to shut down the volume?
I mean, if it was Thor, he'd probably yell silence,
Silence.
and then just hit it. Yeah.
Early 19th century back formation from mutation, mutate.
In the MCU, they all
confusing.
have voice activated televisions.
in
Be
the
quiet!
MCU, it's all. In the MCU, it's all intelligent design, so it doesn't matter.
Is it? That'd be. Oh, I would love that if there was some weird ass.
I mean, they do have literal gods in both versions of the universe, so like DC and Marvel both.
Some just weird, complete, obscure little tiny reference that showed that universe was, intelligent design or run by hamsters or
Yeah,
something.
it's like the Constantine thing. It's just understood that Catholicism is 100% correct.
Yeah. Why
Weird
is this
things
not
about the
working?
I also have to look up. What else was I looking up? Oh, so up against Gladiator was view by category. What are you doing here? Why actor in a leading role first? Why? What is happening? How do I find the damn best pictures?
They always bury
Oh,
it.
Christ! What order? Oh, that's in alphabetical order, guys. It's okay.
What order
know.
is this?
Hey, go,
A's
like,
before
order
the
of-
B's?
I mean,
Some
that
kind
is
of
still
alphabet
alpha
picture.
beta order, guys.
What
We
is
need
it
a name
called?
for that.
that is still kind of an arbitrary thing. There's no reason for them to be in order. The
The
letters.
alphabet? It's because
Yeah.
of the song. Hey,
Oh!
best picture. God, that took forever. Okay, American Beauty, Cider House Rules, The Green Mile, The Insider, and The Sixth Sense.
Ooh,
Whoops,
the Green
never mind.
Mile.
Green Mile was
It's got
definitely
the wrong
good.
year then, because Gladiator isn't in there. When did
The year after or the year before? The Oscar. When they win the Oscar for the next year after it was out.
Yeah, it's confusing because it's like the Super Bowl. It's in the year.
Yeah, we're
technically-
We
finishing
actually
year
don't know if
2018.
there's a reason that they're in that order, Tony. Nobody knows who invented the alphabet.
It was.
I thought it was
Thanos.
the Greeks.
No,
Thanos
it's
did it.
pre-Greek. It comes from like Semitic cultures around the I want to say 4000 BC.
Yeah, like that Sanskrit and all that was just like
I was
straight up
gonna-
claw marks.
Yeah, so specifically alphabetical. There's only all alphabets in the world derive from the original alphabet, which is
China?
interesting. Like it got invented once, and we're still using essential. Like it's evolved over the years, but the essential building blocks are the same as when the original alphabet emerged, like 6,000 years ago.
Gladiator, Chocolat, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Aaron Brockovich, and Traffic.
Ooh,
So
Aaron
that's not a
Brockovich.
great field.
Yeah, I think the only other one that could have
Traffic?
been even considered was Traffic.
Aaron Brockovich is a great movie.
Yeah, she
I
crushed
hate
that.
Julia
I've actually seen
Roberts.
It's shocking. Utterly shocking to me that you just said that. Floored.
She does kind of resemble Sandra Bullock.
Chocolat.
No, the reason why I hate her is because she's just got this giant mouth that looks like she's got an unhinged jaw.
I also, yes, I've had my ups and downs with Julia Roberts through the years. When I'm down on her, I just call her Horseface.
When was the last thing she was in?
Isn't that the girl from the
that Mr. Ed remake?
Sarah Jessica Parker?
Jessica Parker is also known as a Horseface. But I don't mind her as much, because I find Sex and the City to be utterly delightful.
I've never seen it.
I've never watched it.
And on that note, we are going to wrap things up. Al, sign us out.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this, don't forget to click on that like button over there on your YouTube application, however you get these. And also, don't forget you can support us. I mean, people consume a lot of ways. They're probably navigating with their control on their television right down to that like button. I'll give you guys some time to figure out where it's at. I know that the UI is confusing on the TV.
Goodbye, all.
Go to patreon.com/humanechoes and you can support us over there as well. We'd love it.
Remember, if you like what you've been watching, you can become a member over at Patreon right now. The link is right in your face, and you will get all kinds of cool stuff.